Welcome, Canadians wondering, why does India hate us now? Indians going, what's up with Canada? Why are we fighting with this silly country? Or people who just hate Justin Trudeau and want to know what his greatest geopolitical disaster of all time is. Welcome to Canada versus India Explained 101, whatever you want to call it. The biggest geopolitical mistake since 2015. Iran deal, Obama. Ugh. This is number 2. This is the stupidest thing you're going to hear in the next 20 years. It's going to be, if there's a top 10 list of 2020s, this decade's biggest geopolitical mistakes, if this isn't top 3, the person making this video in the future, 7 years from now, should be fired. All right. Why does India hate us? Let's all back up. This is all over the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, who was a maybe Canadian in BC. All right. The Indian government says this guy's a Khalistani leader, separatist terrorist. The Canadian government says he's just a regular Canadian. What is going on here? All right, so context. You need to know what the Khalistani movement is. The Khalistani movement is a separatist movement that's dead everywhere in the world except for Canada because we're a silly country, and when we are attacked by terrorists, we help them out. Sadly, that's kind of true. Okay, so it's a Sikh separatist movement that wants to break off from India, and it was started in the 1980s, funded majority and created by Pakistan, which has murdered nearly all of their own Sikh population internally, but is using the Sikh population as a domestic wedge to undermine Indian sovereignty. Because India and Pakistan, for if you don't know anything about geopolitics, spoiler alert, not friends. All right. So in 1984, this is when the big stuff happens, right? There's the World Sikh Organization is formed, there's tensions, you have the Operation Blue Star, and then Indira Gandhi's assassinated by 2 Sikh guards, and then this results in the anti-Sikh riots in India, and that's generally you could say the start of it. But in Canada, we had the Babar Khalisar, who was a Sikh separatist terrorist group, and they blew up an airplane full of over 200 Canadians, 300 people died, children included. Biggest terrorist attack in Canadian history. Only one person was convicted. The rest of the co-conspirators got off innocent because the people who had testified against them were murdered before they hit trial, and the judge threw out their testimony because he's an idiot and Canada's a silly country. I say all this to say there's interesting stuff going on in the sort of Khalistani movement in Canada. It's not the safest place. They have been known to have some gang violence. So I just bring this up because when we get into this guy's killing, it's going to be hard to say it's 100% the Indian government. And we've already expelled an Indian diplomat before the investigation is complete. This is insane. This is insane. And we're going to lose this geopolitical battle because we have no leverage. But we'll get there. Okay. So you have this Khalistani leader. We know he's a Khalistani. They wave Khalistani flags at his funeral, like Khalistan, Khalistan, Khalistan. We know he wants a separate Sikh state in India. He does not believe in the territorial integrity of united India. Okay, fine, it's your right to believe that. But how far did he go? Did he actively plan things in India? We don't know. What we get to here, though, is this is a bit interesting. Is this guy even a Canadian citizen? We know he came over in 1997. He had lied about his name, and then he got rejected on his immigration thing. Then he married the sponsor of his immigration sponsor. That was shown to be a fraudulent marriage, got denied then, and somehow he's in the country. So is he here illegally? Is he here legally? Did he get in legally on the 3rd time? We don't know what exactly his status is. So he might be a Canadian citizen, he might not. If he's a Canadian citizen, then we have to protect our sovereignty, blah, 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 blah. Let's back up here, though. Why does Canada and India hate each other so much? It's this Khalistani stuff, for most of it. Jagmeet Singh is philosophically a Khalistani. He's spoken at rallies. He's in a coalition with Trudeau. He's banned from India. Jagmeet Singh has supported violent acts. Jagmeet Singh has supported openly political violence against Hindus. And then he denied the Air India bombing. It took him 3 attempts to claim that the Air India bombing actually happened. Listen, Khalistani conspiracies are a real thing here, and that needs to be explained. So we have expelled an Indian diplomat based on an internal report from our intelligence that there's a potential that the Indian government might have been linked to this. Potential link, right? And you're expelling an Indian diplomat. This is an allied country. This is a democracy with massive geopolitical pull. Again, China's the enemy for the majority of the West. There's no way we get off dependence on China and the billion people there who manufacturing and all that without the billion people in India, okay? So India is a geopolitical necessity in the future. I've been saying this, and we're starting a fight with them. A fight we can't win. I don't see any possible way Trudeau can win this. I don't see any possible way Canada benefits from this. Now, if there actually was an assassination on our soil, yeah, you got to stand up for our sovereignty, but we don't have proof, and the investigation isn't concluded, so we can't go and say, here, there's proof. Okay, this gets even worse, because this is industrial level gaslighting, all right? Because this all needs to be put in context, and if you watch Canadian mainstream television, you have no idea what's going on. No idea what's going on. No idea what's happening in India. No idea what's happening in Canadian politics, because we don't teach anything. But you should know. This is a matter of, let's say, national security. Right? This is territorial integrity and fighting against foreign interference in Canada, which is important. The problem is that's not important to Justin Trudeau. We have seen definitive proof in the last 6 months that he doesn't care about this when it comes from a hostile nation. We have had evidence of Chinese interference in our elections. We have photos. We have leaks from our intelligence. We have multiple sources. We have Colonel Mustard in the conservatory with the candlestick. We have evidence of Chinese interference. We have people coming and leaking this evidence, saying it's not being taken to the government and sent in emails. CISA saying, come on, this guy's a spy. Ignored it. Conspiracy theories, intelligence agencies gone rogue. This can't happen. So we've seen recent evidence of Justin Trudeau looking at foreign interference from a hostile power. Looking at evidence from our intelligence and saying, no, not doing it. Okay? And then goes and says, here's secret evidence that no one's seen, that I've just heard, that India's in this, and he's all of a sudden attacking India, right? You go, oh, it's not fair. I mean, a lot of this is left-wing ideology. He's hardcore in it. There are people, India is like Israel kind of among the left. There are certain people dedicated within academia from certain groups just to be like India evil, India evil, India evil, India racist, India evil. So you have that inside the left. You might think in Canada, oh, Indian people, part of that intersectional coalition, this. Kind of, maybe, like on the surface level, but it's surface level, kind of like Jews. Like surface level, they're in the diversity thing. You get one level deeper than it, and it all breaks apart. So this is, China beats India on the intersectional scale of socialism, however Trudeau makes decisions. So you have that to contend with. Now you also have the thing in Trudeau where he just recently, he went to India. This was his second most disastrous trip to India. I mean, at least he didn't put on blackface this time, and invited terrorists. Remember, Justin Trudeau last time he was in India invited a convicted Palestinian terrorist in a Canadian court, convicted in a Canadian court of attempting to murder an Indian official in a Canadian court. He brought him to a special dinner in India. Oh, desperado. So this is the level of insanity the Indians are dealing with. Just looking at this guy going, what are you doing? Of course we can, So you can understand their frustration. Most countries, Indians like most people, they have an aversion to being brutally murdered by people who hate them. I know it's weird. I know you think, well, I went to Venezuela and they loved it. Maybe. But most people, when they see a bunch of groups saying, Group X, we want them dead. We killed them. Let's meet here to kill them. Group X usually isn't happy with that. And that's Canada. So we've recently had this. So here's another element of hypocrisy on the Khalistani stuff. After this, there was Khalistani groups putting up those posters, blood, war, pictures, assassinations, kill, kill, kill. And this is common in Canada, in Khalistani temples, where they have pictures of Indian officials that have been killed and glorifying the people who killed them, or the picture of Indian officials they want to kill. This happens in Canada. So I'm a free speech absolutist, but there's a difference between free speech and offering bounties for murder, right? This is the thing. So Justin Trudeau was just in India defending free speech and saying, political speech, freedom of expression, always defend free speech. The free speech he was defending to India was these Khalistanis rallying to murder people. And, okay, so you could say, oh, maybe this is a free speech absolute, this is a Western thing. Do you really think, if you know anything about Justin Trudeau, this is not a free speech guy. The exact same week, he came out and said that a position held by 80% of Canadians, so on the gender stuff, there's now a poll in Canada. 80% of Canadians agree that parents should be informed of their children's decisions regarding all of this stuff, changing pronouns or whatever. 80% agree. Justin Trudeau says that 80% is a radical, far-right, unacceptable, dangerous element of speech that shouldn't be allowed. So boys are boys, girls are girls, parents should be involved in their children's lives. Dangerous speech shouldn't be allowed. Too dangerous. Kill Hindus, kill, 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 kill. Free speech. Totally allowed. right? So this is the industrial level gaslighting that's happening in Canada. And you have the media flipping from ignoring Chinese interference, except for Sam Cooper and the Globe and Mail there, and now going to 11. Oh, Justin Trudeau is very, very against this. So you can say, what are his motivations? I mean, he could just hate India. I do know that the Liberal Party does have a significant amount of Khalistanis in their inner circle, so it could be pushing that. Could Khalistanis have infiltrated the intelligence agencies and put out a false report? That could be it. Could the intelligence agencies just not be that smart? I've met some of them. Some of them are really smart. Some of them are ding-dongs. Could they have fallen for a Khalistani conspiracy? That's a potential as well. I have seen, you know the Khalistanis. There could be a 574-year-old Sikh guy who dies in a hospital bed somewhere in Texas of natural causes. And 5 minutes later, you'll have a Khalistani account tweeting how this guy was assassinated by the Indian government, and it'll get 400 retweets. So this is, again, why I don't believe them. And also, a lot of Khalistanis have been involved in organized crime in there. So this could be a gang killing, could be a random murder, could be the Indian government has something involved in it. We don't know. We don't know. And you're going to start a geopolitical fight? You're going to start going sanctions? Like, they have 1 billion people. What do we have that the world needs? The world needs India. Like, do you think any world leader is going to back Canada in this? Is just going to take Justin Trudeau's word after seeing all of this? The average world leader in countries, they're not stupid. They're not watching CBC to get their news. They know it's all fake. So they don't live in the same reality they've concocted for you. Like, no one's going to back Canada. It makes no sense to back Canada. And you're going to put our allies in a position to choose between their allies? This isn't an enemy. This is an ally. You ding-dongs. They're part of the Commonwealth. Oh, my God. How do we win this? What's our leverage here? What, you're going to make an alliance with Pakistan? A nuclear alliance with Pakistan and go blow up the place? Is this our plan? So stupid. So stupid. So yeah, India's categorically denied this and expelled diplomats. And if you're Canada's ally, you kind of have to believe us. Oh, it's very serious. But if you're India's ally, you also have to believe them. So it's a stalemate. So now this becomes a means of power and leverage. What power and leverage do we have in the Trudeau era? None. The amount of geopolitical power, like the influence we have as a G20 country is just waning by the second. And it drives me absolutely insane. So, to recap. Justin Trudeau expelled an Indian diplomat based on private evidence that only he has seen that they potentially might have been involved in a crime. Potentially. Okay. He also refused to when it became public that a Chinese diplomat had actively threatened the family of a sitting MP trying to influence our positions on China. Actively threatened a family. The evidence was out. We all saw it. It took him a week, and he had to be hounded to do it by the entire country. This guy doesn't care about Canada. This is cynical. His poll number is tanking. Maybe he wants to be seen as strong on foreign interference. Maybe he wants to whip the country into support around him. I mean, he forced the Conservatives to back him on this. Like, yes, I think Poilievre's wrong, but he has to do this. He has to show unity in Canada. He can't give a crack. He's like, we're now in a geopolitical battle, and we have to fight it, but there's no way we can win this. There's no way. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. So, in closing, Trudeau has an IQ of negative 4,540. India will be mad at us until 2025, and hopefully they just laugh at us and ignore us. That's the best case scenario now. But expect this to cause some sanctions to food prices, and expect this to go very, very badly, Canada.